in each of her last 2 games.
So we are about to get underway. The weather is held off. It's blue skies. First pitch to Deanna Jennings is a strike.
And we have seen Krings be dominant, and she opens up this game. You know that she is going to attack these hitters for Duke, try to set the tone.
Jennings has been back in the leadoff spot the last several weeks for Duke. Been batted 9th for a lot of the year and has diversified her offensive game plan.
Yeah, she had to, because she was stepping out of the box with her slap, and because of that was moved down in the lineup because she was called out so many times. But with that change to her repertoire in the batter's box, she has now added the swing away, and what that has done is it's given her more respect defensively out in the field. She's hit a home run and a triple in the postseason.
That one gets her right at the knees, called strike 3 by Ron Burkhart.
Well, Pam, you know that Krings loves to throw the curveball and the changeup, but look at the way she's throwing her drop ball here today. That looked more like an off-speed, came in with a little bit more velocity than her regular changeup, but it's the same release as her changeup. She's a little amped as that one came in with a little more giddy up than her regular changeup.
Great start for Krings. Now Claire Davidson, ACC Player of the Year, takes a hack, and it goes out of play. Davidson is so brilliant during the regular season. 6th in the nation in runs driven in, hit over 500 in ACC games. Good in the NCAA tournament, but just 1 hit in 2 games here.
Well, and over half of her hits have been for extra bases on the season. She is a hitter that packs a punch, but has not been able to figure out Krings consistently.
Takes one just off the plate. Davidson also committed an error in the field yesterday, only her 2nd of her entire career. Playing right field. Davidson this year set the Duke single season RBI record, sitting at 67 on the season.
Wow, Pam, if that pitch is going to be called a strike here today, Curd is going to have a hard time for Duke. I would actually anticipate going to Jayla Wright, who is a drop ball pitcher, to be more successful, knowing that the bottom of the zone is being called a strike today.
Davidson just stays alive. Marissa Young, in her 7th season, year 7 of this program playing, has taken Duke to heights they've never been before, winning both the regular season and tournament championships in the same year, and their first 50-win season. Jenna Laird can't come up with it, and Davidson is a 1-out base runner. Laird usually very solid at shortstop. Maddie Gallagher, her childhood friend, playing second base alongside, and Julia Crenshaw doing the catching for Krings. That has been ruled a single for Davidson. Now Amina Vega, the very talented second baseman for Duke, Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Duke has had trouble scoring in the early innings all season, all postseason, pardon me. Have not scored in the first inning yet.
Well, and they haven't actually scored until they get through the lineup once. It seems like Duke takes a little while to settle in, and the production doesn't come until that second time through the lineup.
Davison sends that out of play.
Well, and Vega is one of those players who has come in with a ton of pop this season. When she steps in, you got to look for the long ball. She's already matched her home run numbers from her freshman year, and in that freshman year beat Anna Gold's freshman record of 10 when she put up a dozen of her own.
1-1 to Vega with Davidson at first. And that gets into left field. Back-to-back hits. An aggressive base running by Davidson. She gets into third.
On the way that we saw the shortstop Laird shaded up the middle, it looked like she was trying to protect the steal, but Davidson not really one of those players that goes for the stolen base very often. With her pinched up the middle, it opened up that 5-6 hole that Vega was able to exploit. And look at the aggressive base running by Davidson to be able to put herself just 60 feet away.
As Davidson just 5 steals and 8 attempts on the season, and Larissa Anderson comes out for her first visit. Anderson, the head coach here, as well as the one in charge of the pitchers in her 6th year in Columbia.
She's been such a breath of fresh air here in Columbia, knowing the struggles that Missouri was having prior to her arrival, and she has completely changed the culture and given Mizzou so many more fans and the opportunity for players to come in and feel supported and ready to play.
And one thing that Marissa Young, the head coach for Duke, is known for is tinkering with her lineup, and look what she has done. Freelich moved all the way up to the cleanup spot. She's been getting great contact all weekend and has 2 home runs.
And she was a player that during the season was kind of trading time with Kelly Torres back behind the dish, but Torres was being much more productive at the plate, so Torres was able to win that starting role. Now in the postseason, she's found her big bat and has been able to come into the lineup as the DP.
Freelich's home run yesterday was against Krings.
With that runner at third, you see the defense in the baseline trying to make sure that they keep Davidson right there at third.
So both of her home runs this weekend have come against Lauren Krings.
And she's a dangerous hitter at this point. She is the one Duke hitter that has swung with so much confidence. No matter where the ball was at yesterday in her final at bat, she was fouling them off and was so good at just being protecting the zone.
Sends that one well foul.
When you talk about hitting, the biggest piece of it is not mechanics, it's timing, and you have to make sure that you are on time with your barrel. Freelich, just 7 home runs on the year. 2 of them have been at very pivotal points to be able to step in and help Duke advance here today.
2-2 pitch with runners on the corners. Crenshaw was able to keep it in front of her.
And those dirt ball reads are so important as a runner at first base. I was anticipating Vega taking off, seeing that the catcher's knee was going down. That's your opportunity to take an additional step. If that ball kicks away, trot into second base and put 2 in scoring position.
Now the full count to Freelich. Sails foul.
And we know that Vega over at first base has had some knee pain later in the season, so definitely not one of your faster runners at first base, but to be able to take second base, knowing that Freelich has been swinging with confidence, you put yourself in a much better spot to score 2 instead of just getting 1.
Another full count pitch. Freelich pops it up. Laird on the outfield grass for the 2nd out.
To be able to jam up Freelich, that's a huge out, knowing that she's been able to have great barrel contact here in this Super Regional. That's a big pinch for Krings to be able to set down Freelich.
And another change in the lineup. Freshman Amaya Burgess, who has been batting in the 9th spot, slid all the way up into the number 5 hole this afternoon.
Burgess had a triple in their regional. She's so fast. We've seen her in the 9 spot because of her wheels. But an action clock violation changes the count.
Burgess called for the violation, so she gets an automatic strike added to her count.
And so an action clock violation can be had by both the pitcher and the batter. If the batter does not step into the box with 10 seconds left on that clock, it automatically goes down as a strike on the batter.
Right back to Krings, and she gets out of trouble. Duke with runners on the...
With the best eye in the first game, And then in yesterday's performance, it's given her the best average on the team.
Jenna Laird starting things off for Missouri. A big home run against Washington in the regional, her first home run in over 2 years.
And what you're seeing already is the ball in the bottom of the zone is going to be a whole lot better than the ball on the corner. So reading that, being able to adjust to it early will help Kurd. When you have a pitcher that loves to throw up in the zone, the swing and the miss is how she's going to get the strikes today. That is not going to be a called strike. If Missouri is able to show discipline on that pitch, they're going to push some more free passes around.
1-2, now back into the netting. Laird hit .412 last week in the regional, a regional in which Missouri lost the first game to Omaha and then had to win out to get to the Super Regional. One-two into left field. Burgess is excellent, but that goes off her glove. She has made some acrobatic catches. And right there, she showed she's human.
Well, and we've talked about how when you track down a ball in the outfield, you have to stay on your toes. As she was approaching that ball, she started slowing down and her heels were hitting, which will shake your eyes and cause you to lose the ball at times. Definitely an uncharacteristic miss by Burgess in left.
Gives Laird extra life.
Well, Pam, yesterday, Laird went 0 for 3 at the plate, which broke a 10-game reach base streak and also a 5-game hit streak. So at the top of the lineup, they rely on Laird to set the tone. Just 1 home run on the year. That was in regionals. Not a ton of power, but definitely the most speed on the team.
A lot of foul balls in this at-bat.
And while it is just the first batter, I'd like to see the next batter, Honnold, be more disciplined on the rise ball and see if it will be called a strike. Obviously now Laird cannot be stingy on what pitches she swings at, knowing that the next strike is the end of her at bat.
After fouling off 4 straight pitches, she takes ball 2.
Well, and that plate discipline is going to be a huge factor for Mizzou, knowing that the zone has been called at or even below the knee already here today.
9th pitch of this at-bat. Got her upstairs.
You have to lay off that pitch. Kurd is going to exploit you. She is able to climb the ladder like a pro. And if that ball starts belt high, you can anticipate that it will continue to climb. Definitely the rise ball is something that Mizzou needs to figure out how to lay off of.
And Kurd, who went over 300 career strikeouts earlier in the postseason, now facing Honnold.
Well, and we talk all the time about how Cassidy Kurd has unpredictable movement. And while most of her strikes, you can see by the red shaded area, are up in the zone, look at where all those other pitches are coming in. You never know where she's going to throw. But the way that Kurd right now is being masterful at starting these at-bats, she is starting low in the zone to get the first strike and then starts playing around with you as a batter, and that gets in your head. But if you can attack early in a count, it takes away that rise ball, so Kurd can't play with you later.
Here's the 0-2. And another one.
And it is so hard. When you are a power hitter, it is so hard to lay off that ball up in the zone because it starts thigh high. Out of her hand, you have to recognize how late she's delivering. And it's a skill that's learned over time. But when you've got Laird and Honnold, 2 seniors at the top of the lineup, you've got to show plate discipline at the plate on that.
And now another senior, pardon me, and Maddie Gallagher goes after the first pitch and gets the first hit.
And that is a tested bat at the plate that was able to learn the lesson the first two batters were teaching her. Early in the count, Gallagher noticed that the first pitch was left belt high. And when you can attack early in a count, it makes it difficult for Curd to be able to take advantage of you up in the zone.
It's only the second hit that Curd has given up in this Super Regional. So from three seniors at the top of the lineup to the freshman Abby Hay. Hay has one hit this weekend, an RBI single in Game 2 yesterday.
Hay has already shown vulnerability on the rise ball. She struck out twice on the rise ball in this super off of Curd already. And there's Mom looking on.
Mother was a golfer here. Her dad played baseball.
And that's a healthy cut. That's a healthy Hay hack out there in left. Dad is watching from his traditional perch. Top of that concrete wall.
He's got two other people out there with him today, though.
Might have a fight out on the wall.
The territorial action. 1-2 now. Hay takes strike three. Cassidy Curd with 3 strikeouts in that inning. Gallagher dropped down in the lineup. She had been hitting cleanup. And now she's at the 6th slot. And that says it all. The winner will get Oklahoma, the 3-time defending champion, when things get started Thursday in the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. Gold still looking for her first hit of the weekend.
I think it's been a pretty frustrating year for Anna Gold. She is such a fantastic hitter, but this year her numbers have not been able to match the production that she put up last season.
No one has more home runs in the history of Duke softball than Gold, but just 8 of them this season.
And she's become more selective at the plate. She had 10 home runs her freshman year, 19 last year that led the team. Also 56 RBI led the team last year. This season only able to pull in 8 long balls.
Fans get going on the 1-2 count. And yesterday, Anna Gold almost hit a grand slam, jerked one foul that would have given Duke the lead late in the game, and here's the home runs.
And she had 2 grand slams this season. They were both against North Dakota State.
Right into the glove of Daly, and that's kind of a microcosm of the season that Gold has had.
She has squared up the ball so many times this year, and I know it has to be so frustrating. But as she gets on top of that ball, that downspin doesn't allow it to carry over the head of the third baseman. Daly, that downspin takes it right at her, an easy out. But that was a hard hit ball, Pam.
So one away for Kelly Torres, batting in the 7th slot. Senior catcher lays down the bunt, and Torres gets thrown out by Krings.
And this is what Torres loves to do, exploit a defense. And as the first baseman is sitting back, Hay does not even try to make an advancement. It's up to the pitcher to come hard out of the circle to be able to get that out. Great job by Krings to be fleet of foot and get that one.
Duke might challenge the call over at first.
Duke is challenging the play at first base. The call field is out. The play is now under review.
And that's what Torres loves to do, to be able to see a corner sitting back. Typically, it's that first baseman that will sit back on a drag bunt. And because she was playing so far behind the line, it's then a foot race between her and Krings. Torres needs to make sure she hits the front of the bag rather than the middle of the bag. That could have been the difference between out and safe in that one.
Yes, you see she squarely hit the middle of the bag, and I think that call will be upheld. The replay being looked at in Pittsburgh. The information then sent on here to Columbia.
I'm impressed.
Also hitless in this super regional. Baker along with Giselle Tapia, who hits 9th today, the two captains on this team. Baker a captain, even though she's only a redshirt sophomore.
This is one of only a few parks that doesn't have netting in front of the dugouts. Mizzou players like to sit on the dugout half wall, and it makes me nervous for those pulled foul balls.
Baker is behind 0-2. Laird ends it with the pop. Slots have been filled, 4 more to go. Julia Crenshaw takes that pitch to Deanna Jennings, who catches it, and I think she's had a little back and forth with the fans in center field all weekend.
Well, it probably started with the kiss, the blowing of a kiss on the catch that she had earlier this weekend. She is so fast, tracks the ball so well. She'll kiss one out to the fans. I just love the way that she tracks the ball and comes back with a little, is it moxie? Is it swag? What is it, Pam?
Confidence?
Whew, more than that.
Well, I like it. Tara Daly steps in. We saw yesterday where she was, kind of drawing back and forth. It seemed, nice, good-natured, but she has made some great plays out there all year long, including in the Super Regional. Always seems to have the right first step on a fly ball. Daly, Vega, Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Is that a tough play to make?
It's actually made tougher by the positioning of the sun as it sits high in the sky. That was a pretty high pop-up and not necessarily hard to track. You just got to make sure that you keep those eyeballs out of the sun. And she's actually tracking the ball away from the sun, so much easier to get there, but a nice little jog to track it down.
Now here's Madison Walker, who until Maddie Gallagher got a single in the first inning, had the only hit against Curd this weekend. And again, this is the 3rd game in which Cassidy has pitched, the first one she has started.
I've been impressed the way that Madison Walker has emerged here late in the year. She went 2 for 3 in the regionals as a pinch hitter, had the walk-off single to win the regional over Omaha, and because of that performance has been able to enter the starting lineup as the DP in Supers.
Head coach Larissa Anderson has had the exact same lineup for all 3 games, including starting Krings in the circle. Same batting order, same starting pitcher.
A lot of confidence in this Tiger program to be able to put up with their backs against the wall. They did it all regionals, and she's hoping they can do it again today.
Deanna Jennings tracks it down and grabs it. Another spectacular play. Leads things off. Top of the 3rd inning. Super Regional game number 3. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton Hill joining you. The winner plays Oklahoma Thursday in the Women's College World Series. Tapia had a RBI infield single in Duke's Game 1 win, and then they lost yesterday 3-1, getting just 2 hits. Krings has done well fielding her position. She has now retired 6 in a row since giving up back-to-back singles in the first.
And her defense in the circle is something that helps her be so dominant, because sometimes pitchers try to just stay alligator arms in the circle and let the defense play behind them, but she's able to eat up a bunch of those ground balls and save her middle infield, and giving them the opportunity to protect the 3-4 and 5-6 hole with a little bit better accuracy.
And showing us certainly why she made that all-defensive team in the SEC. And now she's going to get Jennings.
It's just amazing to see the way that this Missouri ball club has been able to respond with their back against the wall. They lost the first game at regionals and had to win 4 games to make it to supers. Then lost the first game against Duke, and now their defense is showing up huge behind the senior. But she's actually doing it all this inning.
Including the senior, including Krings. Davidson singled and was stranded back in the first inning. Duke had runners on the corners with 1 out, couldn't get them home. Duke last scored in the first inning of a game at NC State on April 28th, the last game of the regular season. It was just 1 run in the first, so none in the ACC tournament, none in the regional last weekend, and none in the super regional so far. And head coach Marissa Young has been trying to figure it out. Davidson lines 1 foul.
And I think it even goes deeper than just first inning, Pam. This Duke squad does not score until they get to their second time through the lineup. It's taken them 2 and 3 innings to get through the lineup once. And with that, the second time through the lineups, they've been able to figure out the puzzle in the circle. But when it comes to Krings, she's been able to change up what she's throwing, hit her spots with accuracy, and keep her defense strong behind her.
Davidson sends another 1 foul. And even with not producing early in games, Duke had won 12 straight games until they fell yesterday in game 2 of the Super Regional. So now UCLA has the longest winning streak in the country at 13 straight. And they are into the World Series. 1-2. Davidson sends one that is just cut off by Langer. Takes the wide turn, but a good job by Langer to cut it off before it got to the wall. That's the second hit of the day for Davidson.
And this is a more aggressive swing than we've seen Davidson take recently. She's been trying to place her hits, but that one, she knew that Krings likes to go up in the zone, so she hit the top of the ball. Very smart and mature at bat for Davidson to be able to drive it all the way out to the outfield.
So as Larissa Anderson comes out, we remind you that we have a Memorial Day tradition going on. The NCAA Division I Men's Lacrosse National Championship game on ESPN. The number 7 seeded Terrapins of Maryland take on number 1 seed Notre Dame for the title. Coverage begins tomorrow at noon Eastern time from Philadelphia.
Well, and both of those teams know how to win. Notre Dame won it back in 23. Maryland was the winner back in 2022. So you've got 2 amazing programs going head-to-head in that final.
And congratulations to Boston College, who won the women's lacrosse final, a thrilling comeback against Northwestern. Northwestern was up 6-0 in that game and ended up losing 13-12. Amina Vega trying to get her second hit of the game. Lifted towards Cahalan. 1 pitch to get Vega. And Davidson is Langer, the outfielder, starting things off.
Well, and we saw yesterday that Curd had some struggles with the pitching lane, but she tripped as she went forward. I don't know exactly what happened on it. Yesterday it was a landing issue, but because she did not let go of the ball, it is still recorded as a ball in the count.
Up in the air, but into the Duke dugout. We talked to her briefly about it after the game. She said she was all right. She said it happens from time to time with that foot.
It'll sometimes give way. We've seen that she's had some back issues throughout her career, just a sophomore, but she was getting stretched out before the game. She's been so steady throughout her appearances in the circle and the supers.
Langer has 1 hit this weekend. It was a bunt single in game 1. Also got hit by a pitch. That's her specialty. She's been hit 22 times this year, by far the most on the team.
It's the latest fashion. She's wearing it. And that one was so hittable, Pam. And you know that she likes to go up in the zone, but when you leave a pitch down Main Street like that, that's one you're going to want to get back because she's not going to throw it there again.
Now the 2-2. That drops. Langer holds up. Davidson was able to cut it off.
Well, and you wonder, did that little hiccup earlier in the pitching lane give this pitch that belt high corner location again? We like to see Curd go up in the zone with the rise ball, but she leaves it very hittable to Langer to start the inning.
Coach Anderson really appreciates Langer, said she stayed here all summer, lived in the weight room, got stronger, got better. He's taken advantage of the opportunity, leadoff single, and now Cahalan gets the bunt down. Gold throws her out, but it gets Langer over to second.
And in games like this, when you're not seeing a ton of offense, you've got to manufacture runs. To have Cahalan, the kind of bunter that she is, up to the plate, so important. Even with the crashing Gold and an easy play at first base, you've got speed at second, ready to score.
And it turns things over to Jenna Laird. Struck out on a rise ball.
I've never seen time called for a cicada. It was on the shoulder of Laird, and the umpire called time so she could swat it away.
And then she went after it with the bat. I mean, they are everywhere. Yeah, you don't see them, you certainly hear them. Jennings calls off the shortstop Baker for the second out.
And this is a situation where communication is key. I could hear Jennings calling that ball from up here in the booth. She was that loud to make sure Baker did not interfere with that play. She has taken control of the outfield.
Alex Honnold now trying to get Langer home. Also struck out on a rise, her first time up.
Well, it was the first inning when we saw a lot of these leadoff batters go after the first pitch, but they went down with the strikeout, with the rise. So if you're going to hit early in a count, you've got to make sure that you stay on top with your barrel and your knob on approach through your swing plane. That's a great pitch to swing at. I would have come out of my shoes on that one too, but with that, it's got enough wiggle at the end to get right over the barrel. Much more disciplined this time around. Honnold went down with that strikeout on that pitch, up in the zone or up and out of the zone in her last at bat. She's typically very disciplined on the plate. You could tell emotions were riding high in her last plate appearance.
That's out of play.
And there is nothing wrong going after that pitch. That's actually a pitch that you can attack if you stay with your barrel above the ball on approach. The second the barrel falls below, that's when you get those pop-ups. So you have to make sure that both the barrel and the knob approach in their swing plane above that rise ball.
Missouri in this super regional just 1 for 17 with 2 outs, and that was Gallagher with a hit today.
That's a really nice spot off the plate, and Coach Marissa Young says exactly right. You want that to be a chase pitch. You do not want it on the plate.
Marissa Young was an elite pitcher herself at the University of Michigan, calls the pitches here at Duke. Kelly Torres goes out to chat with Cassidy Kerr. Torres is a great...
Because location is important defensively.
Oh, Torres getting that out of the air as the count goes full. Maddie Gallagher on deck.
Well, when we talk about Torres, she's so important because she is able to catch Curd and keep the ball in front.
First 3-ball count of the game for Curd. Burgess ends the inning. And Missouri strands Lenger, who got the 1 out. Curd, who's been brilliant in a relieving role. I've been so impressed. She's a sophomore, but doesn't seem to be overwhelmed by the big moment.
She loves to just be out there and do it for her team. And I told her today, you know, you're going to be the one, and she's ready to get after it.
She's so fun to watch. And with the way that your hitters started this game, I thought we were going to see a ton of offense. What do you need to do to be successful against Krings?
I think we're having great at-bats today. I feel like we are competing right from the start, continue to make adjustments, and hopefully balls will start falling.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always for your time.
Thank you.
Marissa Young was the ACC Coach of the Year, taking her team to the double, winning in the regular season and the ACC tournament. And this is what we've been talking about, not just this weekend, but for the last several weeks covering this team, Jen. The first 3 innings, they're a very slow starting team.
And I don't know that it's a slow start as much as they don't push runs around. They do get hits early on, but it's not until the second time through the lineup that they're able to take away those zeros off the scoreboard and put some runs up.
Freelick up for the second time. She popped up against Krings. 2 of her 7 home runs on the season have come in this super regional, so she's batting cleanup. Coach Young likes to change that lineup, going with matchups and also players that are hot, and none hotter than Freelick.
Well, Pam,
I'm sorry, because you've mentioned this, even when she's not getting a hit, she's getting good contact.
she has been so confident in the box. And when talking about that consistency in the lineup, Coach Young had kept it very consistent throughout the beginning of the season and also through a lot of ACC play. And after talking to her about lineup consistency, all of a sudden, things started to change.
And it has worked for them. Winners of 12 of their last 13 games. Breezed through the regional last weekend at home. And the number 10 seed has been sort of a sticking point with Duke. Not getting a top 8 seed, not being able to host the Super Regional despite their 3 RPI and their double championship in the ACC. And it's kind of fueled some of these players.
When I understand how having a chip on your shoulder can be one of those perfect opportunities to fuel your emotions and your anger and focus them in the right direction to be able to take it out against your opponent. And that's what Duke's been able to do. They did feel disrespected by getting the 10 seed and not being able to host Supers at home.
Freelick goes down. Let's go to Matt, who has an update in the studio.
Number 5, the left fielder, Alaya Burgess.
Thank you very much, Matt. And Burgess retired on a comebacker, her first time up. Krings with 3 assists today, fielding comebackers cleanly every time. Again, she was on the all-defensive team in the SEC this year. Way over a 3-hour rain delay. That's a long time.
Yeah, we've seen Alabama, though, be successful after rain delays. They came away with their first national championship over Oklahoma after a big rain delay in OKC.
And remember, Alabama and Tennessee played 14 innings yesterday, so they spent a lot of time in that stadium.
And it was so fun. We sat and watched it at the hotel, and then we watched it at dinner, and they finally
got home,
pulled it off later that day.
Yeah, it was not a good game to be watching and go, hey, we'll go when the game's over.
Well, that's actually what we did say.
You would have been there for another 2.5 hours.
We talked about going after the game, sitting at the hotel, and then you finally said, how about we just head to the restaurant?
Just go. About to faint. Well, what a game that was between those 2 SEC rivals. Missouri trying to represent the SEC themselves. Florida already in, as they eliminated Baylor earlier today. And Duke is the last ACC team standing. Florida State losing in the Supers to Oklahoma. Another 2-2.
Well, the winner of this Super actually matches up with Oklahoma. So not only did Oklahoma take down Florida State ACC, but if Duke advances, they would take down potentially another ACC opponent.
Another foul ball for Burgess. Duke opened its season at Oklahoma, against Oklahoma, I should say, and that was their only shutout of the season.
Yeah, low scoring game though. It was impressive to see the way that Duke opened up against the reigning national champion.
Losing only 3-0. Here's the 8th pitch of this at bat.
This is the kind of plate protection or zone protection you have to have as a batter. We've seen this zone back behind the plate be very low, but he's also started calling it above the belt for a strike. So as a hitter, you have to remember that the bat has to come off the shoulder. You do not want to leave it up to the umpire.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Burgess goes down swinging.
One at bat, and she matches her pitch total for last inning. Rise ball, nasty spin. A lot of emotion out of the circle. Krings is ready to keep dealing.
Krings, the senior from Colorado. 2 career no-hitters, also a perfect game on her resume, trying to get to the Women's College World Series. Gold lined out to Daly. Her first time up, hit it right on the nose, but right to the Tiger third baseman.
Well, and in that swing, a little late. I mean, it's all about timing. And if you can, in the circle, continue to mess with the velocities of your pitches, that makes you next to impossible to hit. Not only is the spot of your pitch important, but also the speed.
13 of 15 batters have been greeted with a first pitch strike from Krings. That pop up, playable for Laird, who had to go over her shoulder to make it with Cahill. Missouri were locked up in a nice pitcher's duel here today. Lauren Krings, just keep giving her the ball, right? She just seems unflappable.
I mean, why not? I mean, she got us to this point, so we're going to continue to ride that thoroughbred until she can't go anymore.
Well, giddy up. And when it comes to this crowd, you have the advantage for sure hosting Super Regionals. How impressed are you with the turnout?
I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, grow the game. It's an awesome crowd. It's so incredible. It's great to play in front of a crowd this large. I'm just so proud of our community and their investment in softball.
And your berm chairs have been a big hit out there.
They
We
have
saw
been.
people running to get them.
So if there's a lawyer out there that wants to patent them, I'm ready to talk.
All right, I think that's a good idea. Thank you so
Thanks
much,
for being
Coach.
here. MIZ.
Jen?
I'm not saying it.
Okay, Z-O-U. Well, just finish it. How about D-U-K-E, just to even things out?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a pretty good way to say it, right? But when you think about what it took to get Larissa Anderson to this place in her career, I think she would more than freely nod to her mentor, who's actually sitting in the crowd, Bill Edwards, who was the head coach at Hofstra, giving her an opportunity to be an assistant coach for 13 seasons and then also take over the reins for him after retirement, being the head coach at Hofstra for 4 years before coming on campus here in Columbia.
Coach Anderson trying to get Mizzou back to the World Series for the first time since 2011. And they've also had a little bit of a slip up. They have lost 3 straight Super Regionals when they were hosts, so they were trying to get rid of that streak. Maddie Gallagher leading off against Cassidy Curd. Burgess retreats and gets it a couple of feet in front of the warning track. First out of the 4th. It's 3 straight fly ball outs. Not surprising against a rise ball pitcher.
No, and that's actually, there's only been 1 ball put on the ground, and it was a sacrifice bunt. Every other out not recorded via the strikeout has been in the air.
Abby Hayes struck out looking her first time up. Grew up playing baseball.
I actually had a chance to talk with her mom. I work with USA Baseball in the women's national team, and I said, hey, what you doing this summer? But the tenacity that you have to play baseball all the way up until high school. She did make the transition to softball her freshman year, but also played some baseball as well, and has moved through the MLB Develops women's arm of that program. I'm excited to be able to keep her involved and see if she can make the women's national team. I was able to play on that team back in 2010. We won bronze and the gold in the World Cup in Venezuela, hoping to get gold back on U.S. soil. We've fallen prey to Japan the past couple years.
Yeah, we asked Abby Hay about the difference, or I did, because I never played baseball. What's the difference? She said, well, her first game in high school, there were 4 straight rise balls, and she said, I missed them all. She said, I realized I could never be a leadoff hitter. Because in baseball, you don't have that rise.
You do not. Off the bump, the ball does not come any higher, and so that's been a transition that she's needed to make. Also, another transition from the baseball to softball world is just the time that it takes to field and throw. You have a lot less time on the softball diamond because you play on the skin. You also play a whole lot closer to home plate. And by skin, I mean a dirt infield. You don't have grass on the infield. Just little different nuances of the game.
Hay has a 3-1 pitch headed her way. Right down the middle.
I mean, that is the pitch that Hay needs to absolutely tee off on, but it's so hard. When it starts belt high, you think it's going to keep rising, and then you sit there and shake your head and realize you missed an opportunity.
Now the full count. Punched into right field. Davidson drifts over into foul territory for the second out.
The scary part about having a rise ball pitcher in the circle is that one flat rise ball could be the difference in this ball game. If you throw that flat rise to the wrong hitter, the ball's going to leave the yard, and it looks like this is going to be a very low-scoring affair.
Duke with 3 hits, Missouri with just 2. Here's Crenshaw, who is a very good athlete and not just as a softball player. She's from O'Fallon, Missouri. And is a very good javelin thrower.
I thought javelin would be something very easy to go over and throw being a softball player, but it is a much different motion. But a state champion in the javelin, Crenshaw, pretty cool accolade to have on her resume.
Certainly has the shoulders of an elite javelin thrower. Way high for Burgess. 3 more fly ball outs. Nothing tie as we head to the top of the 5th inning in this super regional number 3. Game number 3 between Duke and Missouri. The winner goes to the Women's College World Series, where they play 3-time defending champ Oklahoma on Thursday. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton Hill joining you. It's been Lauren Krings against Cassidy Curd. Krings about to throw her 60th pitch of the day. And her 571st of the NCAA tournament, including the regionals last week. We talked to Larissa Anderson about it. It's like, why not? Just keep giving her the ball. Krings, they've had conversations before. Krings has said, I'm not coming out of games. Things like that.
Yeah, it was crazy to hear the story of Krings in the circle talking about how earlier in the season, Larissa Anderson was coming to the circle to take her out. Krings met her halfway and said, don't take the ball.
Kelly Torres puts it in the air. Linger for the first out.
I mean, to have a pitcher that wants the ball that bad, not only did she say, like, this is my game to finish, it was actually a little bit later in the season against Tennessee where Krings stumbled and was struggling and actually wanted to come out of the game, and Larissa Anderson left her. She had a 21 ERA in just 2 innings of work in that game. But because of that outing, she says she's made Krings has been made so much better with the lessons learned throughout the season.
Jada Baker tries to get the bunt down. Duke came into this super regional with the 12th best batting average in the country. They did all right in game 1, but they've seen it plummet ever since. Baker is 0 for 6 at this super regional. Another one in the air. Shortstop Laird.
And maybe the more impressive part of Lauren Krings in the circle is the fact that she went to her head coach after last season and told her, "Coach, I'm too predictable. Everybody knows the pitches I'm going to throw and when I'm going to throw them." And so because of that, she's worked so hard to become more drop dominant and used it in the SEC tournament to be able to be more successful against hitters. Took them all the way to the SEC final after finishing 5th in the regular season.
They fell to Florida in the final, and there you see the first pitch strike ratio continues to be very impressive. Cahalan. It's a fly ball fest here. Lauren Krings in the dugout hoping for some offense. Daly, Walker, and Langer due up against Cassidy Curd. Both teams combining for just 5 hits so far. Missouri has left 2 on. Duke has left on 3 runners.
How do you attack Curd as a pitcher? You have to make sure that you sit belt and below. Anything that starts to trickle above the belt is going to continue to climb. You've got to attack that pitch that sits flat. Curd throws a lot of them. You just have to be on time and ready to go every pitch to be able to attack that.
Anna Gold makes the play at third to lead off the 5th. Gold is senior on this Duke squad.
That's a hard hit ball. That's a great play by Gold. A one-step jab to be able to get it. Throws a nice little throw across the diamond to get the out, but that's why Gold continues to stay in the lineup. While her bat has not been as productive as last year, she plays a great hot corner.
There's Madison Walker, who flew out. Jennings made a nice play in center field and held the ball up for the people to see it.
So while the top of the lineup seems to attack early and swing at the ball up in the zone, the bottom of the lineup continues to watch that first pitch strike go by.
The bottom of the lineup has really struggled coming into this game for Missouri. Langer did get a single, another play for Gold, and another example of why she starts every game. So they take that 4-0 lead. Then the rains came, and now they're back playing.
And just her 4th home run of the year, had just 15 RBI heading into the game today.
There's Langer, who has one of the 2 hits against Curd today. Falls behind 0-2 after taking that pitch. Pardon me, the count now 1-2. a couple of ground outs to Anna Gold, and then but we are still waiting for our first run to cross the plate. Third time through the lineup now, Deanna Jennings leads things off. And for the second straight at bat, she grounds out to the pitcher, Krings.
Krings fields her position so well, does not let her heart rate get elevated in the moments with the comebackers. We saw a hard shot right back at the circle yesterday that took her glove off, but she was able to be supported by her shortstop, Laird, still make the out in that one. Love the way that this senior Krings continues to just show up in the circle by throwing the pitches and also getting the outs.
Davidson has 2 of Duke's 3 hits today. Jennings, both times, the last 2 times we mentioned, she's grounded out on comebackers to Krings, and in both at bats they came on the first pitch.
Well, if I'm Claire Davidson, I'm the only one with consistent production at the plate. I'm trying to tattoo a ball over the wall here.
Not enough, got under it for Laird. So Lauren Krings and Julia Crenshaw make up the starting battery today for the Missouri Tigers, and also joined by their teammate Shantice Phillips, and they have a little bowling team, and they go pretty much on every off day that they can when they're in town. They have their own bowling shirts. As Vega sends one foul. They have a team name that was not shared with us.
They told us it was not air appropriate,
yes.
So we're gonna have to leave that one. But pretty cool to be able to do things with your teammates outside of softball and still be competitive.
I had a shot of Shantice Phillips, a senior outfielder there in the dugout, who makes up the third part of that bowling team.
I want to know the name. They wouldn't even tell us.
No. Vega had a single right after Davidson in the first inning. Was Duke's best threat, 2 on and 1 out, but Krings got out of it, and since then she's allowed just 1 base runner.
And Vega's the perfect bat to follow Davidson, knowing that Davidson's the biggest long ball threat in the lineup, who's been most consistent this year. Vega as a sophomore has been another scary bat with double-digit home runs this season.
Vega second on the team with 12 home runs, 6 fewer than Davidson. Very good second baseman, just a sophomore.
The rise ball pitcher is going to try to climb the ladder when you've been swinging at pitches above the belt.
That football coach on his feet. Eli's invested.
He knows what this feels like.
Vega continues to fight off pitches. Coach Anderson talked about all the support, great support from the other coaches in the Missouri family, including Robin Pinchton, the women's basketball coach. Chance for Hay to take it by herself. Krings has now retired 10. It's Claire Cahalan with the Duke defense not far away. And that's a foul ball. Coach Anderson tried to sell it, but right away called a foul ball by the home plate umpire, Ron Burkhart.
Well, and it is a good call, but if it's called foul on the field, you cannot go back and alter. That's not a reviewable play if it's called foul. So if it's called fair, they can go back and call it foul. But I agree with the home plate umpire. That was not touched by Anna Gold down there at third.
Yeah, clearly foul. Curd now ahead 0-1. 14 innings at this regional for Curd. She's given up just 3 hits, 2 of them today. Still has not given up a run.
Well, she's got to be careful of her feet. That left foot on the crossovers coming out of the box, and so as she pushes this to an 0-2 count. If the home plate umpire or the second base umpire see her out of the box, she'll be out.
0-2. Goes down swinging to start the 6th. Women's College World Series returning to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday at 12 Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Oklahoma awaiting the winner of this one. As Curd has just recorded back-to-back strikeouts. She has 4 on the day.
Well, the conversation, Pam, all season long was, do you think Oklahoma can four-peat? The first time it'll ever be able to be done in our sport. And the way that they've played this season, they have a chance, but not as solid of a chance as we've seen in the last 3.
Not as dominating, and excuse me, that was the 5th strikeout of the day for Cassidy Curd. To the top of the lineup, Jenna Laird. And the cups they have at Duke, they're very creative. Take a chair, so for every strikeout, a chair and a different type of chair is drawn on the bottom of the cups.
Yeah, sit her down, right? So the 5th strikeout is getting worked on.
Into left field, Burgess, 2 away. So the 5th cup is about to go on, Jen.
The reveal, drum roll. Come on. We've only got so much time. Wow.
I think she's letting it
Denied.
dry. She's letting it dry. We'll get back to it.
Or does Curd get to put it up?
Alex Honnold, 0 for 2 today. Came in hitting .364 in the NCAA tournament. Curd has now retired 11 in a row. Picked up by Tapia in another low pitch inning. Just 8 that time for Curd. No runs through Cassidy Curd. The starters shutting everybody down. First pitch goes to Laird.
So we thought maybe Cassidy Curd would be the one to put up the cup, but Jada Baker coming over and putting up strikeout. Ooh, I like that chair, beach chair. Well played.
The umbrella and everything, the sand.
I will be there tomorrow.
Both of these teams are hoping they won't see a beach for a while. They want to go to Oklahoma City. That's where the winner goes. Amaya Burgess, the left fielder. Backhanded by Gallagher, tough play, and she got her. Burgess, who runs very well, is thrown out.
And to be able to make this play up the middle is so hard for a second baseman, because not only do you have to backhand it, but your momentum is taking you away from the throw. Solid job to be able to come away with a big one against Wheels down the line.
2 pitches, 2 outs in this inning for Krings. Now Anna Gold. Looking for her first hit today.
And you saw 2 first pitch strikes in the first 2 batters swing at that pitch that Krings is trying to get ahead on. As soon as she gets a strike, she starts to dance around the zone and play with you. I like the way that the first 2 batters of the inning were just in attack mode.
To Gold.
We know that Gold is patient at the plate, but that's the 3rd pitch in a row that Krings has thrown off the outside corner. She has not gotten that pitch called for a strike, and she continues to just hammer the outside upper quadrant. You definitely don't want to leave it up to the umpire, but seems right now you've got to attack Krings early in a count, or she's going to just play around the zone and not give you anything good to hit. I mean, that was expected. You knew that that pitch was not going to be near the zone. Krings wanted that swing and miss to finish off Gold in that one. But the evolution of Gold at the plate has become much more selective and is able to keep the barrel on the shoulder.
Just got a hold of that full count pitch.
And that one had some more velo on it too. You can see that Krings is not just playing with position in the zone, but also with her velocity. A good pitcher is looking at 3 different things: speed, spot, and spin. All 3 definitely important as you attack a hitter like Gold.
Into right field, Langer squeezes it. Another 1-2-3 inning. Krings has retired 13 straight Devils. We go to the bottom of the 7th.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt and Tori. And why are you pitching to Trinity Cannon?
There is no reason. She has been the one hitting the ball out of the park left and right. Are you kidding me? Texas A&M looking to upset the #1 seed in the postseason.
Had a lead late yesterday until Texas exploded for a big inning. And we are going to the bottom of the 7th inning, scoreless. Cassidy Curd and Lauren Krings have both been amazing.
Well, they have thrown so many strikes. I mean, very limited balls in counts. Just cannot string things together as a hitter right now against these 2 in the circle.
Maddie Gallagher at the plate. 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Tigers. And there's Krings in the dugout.
Only 5 combined hits for both of these teams. It's the free passes. You know that they are going to dance around the zone. Both of them very trusted arms in the circle. Pam, I think it's going to come down to who blinks first. Knowing that Curd likes to throw that rise ball, she needs to be aware of these hitters as they flip the lineup back over who are hitting early in the count.
Baker, first out of the 7th. Missouri is not a team known for its home run power.
No, just 39 on the season, down from 51 as a team last year. Their team batting average just .261. It's not about how many hits you get, you just got to string the right ones together at the end of a ball game.
He certainly has the pop to leave the building.
Omaha, that they had to win back-to-back to be able to advance. And there's the rise ball. That is the pitch that she will be vulnerable with, knowing that it's been an adjustment for her to see it up in the zone, and Curd knows the kind of power that Hay has. That spin so important to be able to give it a dance at the end of the pitch to get it over the bat. So fun, Pam, to see these young players emerging as the players to watch. Hay, just a freshman. Expect to see her name all over the record books during her career with the way that she swings a stick.
She's down 1-2 to Curd. Torres framed it, didn't get the call.
That was a pretty pitch, Pam. That's the one you want to get called. It is a little high. It's a good call by the umpire, but as a pitcher, I know she was begging for it.
Couldn't get the rise again.
Curd loves to throw that ball up and find you in your feels, knowing there's a lot of emotion behind it. Oh, it's an unhittable pitch, knowing that it starts so low, and there is so much emotion out of the circle by Curd.
2 out, nobody on for Julia Crenshaw, who was flown out twice today. Curd with 6 strikeouts and no walks. Krings has not walked a batter either. A master class here this afternoon with these pitchers.
And you expect this kind of performance out of a senior, but Curd, just a sophomore, dealing.
Hit far, but very foul.
That ball was launched. But that's what you get when Curd in the circle can change, play with their velocity, change your speeds. Not only is she able to fill the zone and throw the rise, but she's also mixing in velocity changes to mess with these hitters.
Right through Curd and into center. Crenshaw with the 2-out single.
Twice, and was rattled and needed to be taken out yesterday, or 2 days ago.
So here's Daly. The third baseman who leads this team with a grand total of 7 home runs on the season.
Has not been able to find a hit in the supers. Was 2 for 12 in the regional, both of them doubles.
Daly down 0-2 with Crenshaw at first. Good job by Torres, and then throws down to first.
I don't know that we can brag on Kelly Torres any more than we have, but I'm so impressed with the way that she goes up to get this one and then has the awareness to throw down to first base.
A little chancy. Tapia was able to grab the accurate throw, and the rise ball strikes again. 2 more strikeouts in that inning for Cassidy. Not allowed a Duke base runner since the 3rd inning. That was Claire Davidson, who has 2 of Duke's 3 hits. Winner gets Oklahoma on Thursday. Record crowd again today here in Columbia. Imagine Patty Gasso, the rest of her staff, watching this game. They will get the winner, and more softball to come. Alabama leading Tennessee now 4-0 in the 3rd inning. A&M over on ESPN2 is up 1-0 over Texas, and LSU Stanford will cap things off at 9:30 Eastern.
So fun watching Nysri Kennedy come against LSU yesterday after uncharacteristic home runs getting hit off of her in game 1.
Kelly Torres leading things off in the top of the 8th inning. 0 for 2 against Krings. This is Missouri's 3rd extra inning game of this NCAA tournament, including the regional clincher against Omaha here last week.
And if you look back a little bit farther in Duke's season in their ACC tournament, this is now their 3rd after conference matchup that has gone extra innings.
That is the 600th pitch that Krings has thrown in the last 2 weekends. 511 coming in, 89 now.
I'm pretty sure, though, if Larissa Anderson came to the circle, she would say, "This is my game, head back."
Yeah. Torres right to Gallagher to start the 8th.
And Krings is one of those pitchers in the circle, knowing that this is her last go-around. A senior in the circle, had a .56 ERA in regionals, through 25 innings last weekend.
Jada Baker has popped out twice to the shortstop Laird. And we asked Lauren Krings when we were able to meet with players before the Super Regional started. I said, "Will you pitch every pitch?" She said, "I will if I have to."
Well, and she had the complete game shutout against Omaha, that 9-inning win that pushed them here.
Baker gets the bunt down. Appears that it hit the bat twice. So Anderson sure pleading.
After further review, the call is upheld. It was a foul ball in the box.
Nice quick job to get that done. 1-1 pitch. Giselle Tapia on deck for Duke. And then the top of the order, but again, Duke has not had a base runner since the 3rd inning. That bunt is caught by Crenshaw, and this time Baker's out.
You might as well wrap that one up and tie a bow on it, because it was completely handed back there to Crenshaw behind the dish. Your job when you're trying to drag bunt is hit the top of the ball, and as Baker went for it, she hit the bottom and a little bloop right into the glove of Crenshaw.
2 out for Tapia. Goes after the first pitch. Just off the plate.
And as a pitcher, if you want that call, go right back to it. You've got to make sure that you show that you have that kind of control. If she wants that call, she can grab it. It's the 8th inning. Go right back to it.
Tapia sends one into the gap. Honold chases it down. 3 hits each team with just 3 hits. Madison Walker came up big as a pinch hitter in the regional last week. Missouri has won 5 straight elimination games. 4 last week, and then yesterday they had to win after dropping game 1 of this Super.
And this is the time I want the crowd to actually be so loud. Play with the emotions of Duke. Right now, the crowd pretty quiet and tame.
0-2 pitch.
When you're in extra innings, this is an opportunity to have home field advantage. This crowd definitely needs to be standing up, putting a ton of noise out there to play with the emotions of Duke. I mean, the dugouts are quiet, the fans are quiet. This is an opportunity for Mizzou to walk it off.
Davidson. First out of the 8th inning. Davidson, one of the seniors on this Duke squad, hoping to end her career in the Women's College World Series. Larissa Anderson is going to send up a pinch hitter for Langer. It is Katie Chester. Langer did get one of the 3 hits against Curd, a single back in the 3rd inning, but she has been lifted in this at-bat by Chester. Appeared as a pinch hitter in game 1 of the Supers, did not get a hit.
Well, in this instance, you're looking for a bat that can leave the yard, and with Chester up, this is her 117th at bat on the season. She's got 4 home runs on the year, 5 doubles. She's got a little pop in that stick. She's looking to use it here. And if I'm Curd in an 0-2 count, I am soaring this ball to the backstop, looking for the swing and miss.
Kept it down. Baker playable at short for the 2nd out.
Well, that's not Curd's MO. We usually see her go up and away on a chase pitch when she gets ahead like that. So very different call out of the dugout. Or was that just a Curd effectively wild ball in the bottom of the zone?
Right, Curd being Curd.
Right.
Very composed, very loose. We saw her well before the game started. She was dancing, just trying to stay calm. Here's Cahalan. And yes, there's another Cahalan playing in the NCAA tournament for Alabama, her cousin.
Right now at Alabama.
And they're winning. They're still beating Tennessee 4-0 now in the bottom of the 4th in Knoxville. Tennessee is the number 3 overall seed. And this is a career-long outing for Cassidy Curd. And she has pitched 7 2/3 innings. Very efficient with the pitch count.
Well, Pam, that's what has allowed this outing to go so long. If she had thrown long innings, I don't know that the efficiency or the lack of efficiency would have given her the longevity. And so for her in the circle, being able to throw as many strikes and have quick innings has helped her go the distance.
Now we could see some of those raindrops falling around Curd on that tight shot. Just glad
the sun is
looks
still
like the
shining.
friendly kind of rain. The sun is shining and it's not cicadas falling from the sky for a chance.
Seriously.
Cahalan is 5-1. Not much of a strike zone. Punched into left field, but Burgess was playing there. Another 1-2-3 inning. Vega 1 hit, that's it. And Jennings in her last 2 at-bats went after the first pitch. Both of them were comebackers to Krings.
And now that we're later in the game, will she use the slap to get on? The defense on the left side is pinching her in, expecting her to use a little more short game instead of swinging away. But in that one, she stood in and was ready to swing. The outfield is respecting her swing away. The infield is challenging her for this slap. So both of her tools are trying to be defended in the moment.
Foul ball for Jennings, hitting over 400 on the season. Coming into today, coming back from a broken arm. Now it's just at 399. Broke her arm on an Elena Vaughter pitch in the Super Regionals last year when Stanford came into Duke and upset them in 2 games.
Well, the reason the slap is more successful at this point in the game is because the line, or the chalk line on the inside part of the batter's box closest to the plate, has been pretty demolished, and with that, it's hard to make a definitive call on out of the box for the slappers.
100 pitch for Krings, sent into the air and not playable. Jennings hit her first career home run in the regional last weekend against South Carolina, and she was the most surprised person in the building.
The first home run she's maybe ever hit in her life. She said maybe she's left the ball or the ballpark 2 or 3 times outside of that.
And that one is hit high, deep, and gone. Deanna Jennings, with just her 2nd career home run, puts Duke on top.
But with the excitement, missed home plate as she came around to greet her teammates. Taylor White, the third base coach, realized that she missed it, sent her back to touch it to make sure it was recorded. Holy cow, you are kidding me! The excitement! Only her 2nd career home run.
With Claire Davidson up. Davidson with 2 singles against Krings. Gets great contact on that. The layout and the fantastic catch by Langer. Outright thievery.
And the point from Pinnell saying, hey, thank you for having my back. As soon as a pitcher enters a game, you know they want to fill the zone with strikes. So I like that first pitch swing by Claire Davidson. She was on time. Just couldn't get it beyond the glove of Langer.
Now Mina Vega now takes a hack. So Lauren Krings gave up 4 hits on the day, 2 of them singles to Davidson. But that big home run, 100 pitches, 73 strikes. Vega, easier time this ball for Langer.
Both of the outs in this inning in the air. All 3 balls put into play in the air this inning. Looks like Duke has changed the swing plane as the game has gone on.
Francesca Freilich, 0 for 3 today. So the top of the order came up here in the 9th inning for Duke. Jennings, the leadoff hitter with a home run, and the top of the order for Missouri will be up in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, it's the first 3 batters of the Duke lineup that have done all the damage here today. All 4 hits put up by 1, 2, and 3. But with Mizzou, when they come up, 1, 2, 3 are up for them.
Freilich hit by the pitch.
When you know that you want to take the ball deep, but you just want to keep the at-bat alive. That just her 7th time getting hit by the pitch, but the yell to the dugout shows you that they want to keep this one going with Burgess in the box.
Hit her on that protective shield that was on her arm.
Nice little changeup. You got to disrupt the timing of these hitters.
First free pass given up by Missouri pitchers this evening, as Krings did not walk a batter in her 8 innings of work. Hit on the nose. Freelick going to be waved around by Taylor White. Here comes the throw, and Duke gets an insurance run.
Amaya Burgess has already hit a triple in the postseason. That her 3rd of the year, and it comes at such an important time. Obviously, the changes in the lineup by Marissa Young are paying off because she's got people in the right spot. That one finds its way just inside the line. And with the wheels of these, if Duke wins this one, they've got a big game next.
Gold has not gotten a hit in this Super Regional, has gotten some good contact, but has not been rewarded for it.
Had just 2 hits in regionals, was 2 for 10, but was 0 for 6 coming in today, and is 0 for 3 again.
Oh, good job by Burgess to jump out of the way of that screamer down the line.
Well, your job at third base is to advance down towards home in foul territory, because if you try to advance in fair territory and that ball hits you, the inning is over. So your job at third, advance in foul territory, but a little twinkle toes made sure she didn't hurt Daly, who had dove for the ball.
And you don't want to get hit because that hurt like heck. That thing was just pounded.
Oh, I've been tattooed by a line drive over there at third base. It turned lots of pretty colors.
Gold into right field, and it's over the head of Langer. Duke finally getting their bats going here in the 9th. Gold's first hit of the Super Regional brings in another run.
And just her 4th double of the year. This ball just beyond the glove of Langer. She had to go a long way. That ball was hit hard, all the way to the wall, and with the ricochet gave Gold enough time for an easy stand-up double.
So in this inning, Duke has doubled, tripled, and homered.
Struggled and had to be relieved quickly.
Faces Kelly Torres, another senior on this team for Duke. Duke with 3 of their 6 hits today in this inning.
And early in the season, McCann went to her head coach, Larissa Anderson, and said, hey, I need you to be really energetic in the dugout to help me get to 100% on each pitch.
Popped up, long run, drops in, Duke scores again.
And Pam, you asked earlier if that ball behind first base is a tough out. Well, it's only a tough out when it falls right in between 2 defenders. And as Hay had to turn over and try to catch over the shoulder, Maddie Gallagher runs into her as well and makes the ball kick away. That's a tough catch. Almost got it in. Another run in for Duke.
Gold scoring all the way from second. Torres with the RBI double. And now Tapia skies it to Hay to end the inning. But Duke, 4 hits, higher Super Regionals, 17 innings pitched for Curd. She has not given up a run. Top of the order, and Jenna Laird.
Laird sets the tone at the top and has not been successful today. This would be quite the time to be able to set the tone with their backs against the wall.
One of those players that head coach Larissa Anderson literally had her eye on since she was a kid when Anderson was working at Hofstra back in New York State. And Laird following her to Mizzou. Base hit. Good start to the ninth for the Tigers.
Well, and the conversation has to be, look, one jack does not do it here. We have to pass the bat. So Mizzou, as they step in with the top of the lineup up to start this inning, they've got a 4-run deficit. And staying on top, driving through the heart of the ball, Laird starts it off with a single.
Alex Honnold. Back to Kurt. She doesn't handle it cleanly, and everybody's safe.
And this is where home field advantage starts to take shape. With everyone on their feet, this place is gonna get loud, and the emotions for Duke are going to ramp up their heart rate. A comebacker to the circle is always a scary moment, but you have to be able to keep your emotions in check and put a fork in it to be able to make a play. Now Kelly Torres, that's senior leader on the field for.
And it's the first time they have seen Walker this weekend. Kurd and Wright have thrown every other pitch. Gallagher, the South Carolina transfer, another New York State kid that has known Larissa Anderson since she was 9 years old.
There's also a velocity change, not just the changeup, but Walker does not throw with the same kind of velocity that Kurd does. Kurd was throwing upper 60s. Walker throwing between 59 and 60 miles an hour out of the circle.
Here's a look at it.
So hard to attack that kind of speed change when you've been seeing plus almost 70 miles an hour the whole game. Mix in that drop ball in the 60s with a changeup coming in at 45. This is a tough change and a tough call for Mizzou.
Down 1-2, Torres keeps it in front of her.
And in this situation, Torres has been so good at blocking balls all year, keeps it in front, but this is a Duke squad that's never been in this situation before, looking to get to OKC for the first time.
2-2 bounced foul off of the foot of Gallagher.
And Pam, the conversation needs to be had with this group that, hey, we have a 4-run lead. There is no need to panic. You just need outs. But sometimes when you haven't been in a situation before, the emotion of the moment can get away from you, and it can make you tight and not play loose and free, which is where Duke needs to live to be successful.
Gallagher to Tapia, who wisely takes the shore out. Laird now at third, Honnold at second. First time that Mizzou has had a runner on third base today.
And typically in a situation like this, you would see your defense moved in to pinch, but there is no need to pinch the batter in this situation. Those 2 runs.
Abby Hay, 0 for 3 against Kurd today. Straight balls. Julia Crenshaw on deck. Tigers have been the comeback kids here in the postseason.
if I'm Hay in the box right now, I am looking to just hit a line drive. I'm trying to take the mitt off of somebody, not trying to elevate. You got to continue to pass the back.
Inside.
What a mature approach at the plate by the young freshman in a tight spot.
Mom looking on. Dad snapping photos out in left field. 3-1. Sent deep into right field, and Hay has done it! The hometown kid hits a home run. And just like that, Missouri's right back in it.
When you leave a ball big to a hitter who has shown patience at the plate and has not been successful in the day, you better be careful because the stick that just connected has a ton of pop. Mizzou capitalizing, huge 3-run bomb by Hay.
One away, nobody on down for Crenshaw. And Cassidy Curd lifted after she had thrown 100 pitches. A couple of singles, one of them a comebacker that she couldn't handle, was lifted for Walker.
Beautiful spot on that changeup, down right at the knees, nips the bottom of the zone. Good response by Walker. And that's where Walker needs to live. If she's going to be able to get that strike, that's the way to get out of this inning. That ball is low.
To strike. Walker had 1 and 2 on a goal. 2 outs.
Great defense. Looks like Duke has settled down.
Up to Kara Daly now. Pitch 101 for Curd. Lisa Young, her head coach.
Ooh, that's always one I wanted to take the bat off my shoulder and swing at because it looked meaty coming in, but great plate discipline to keep the bat on her shoulder. That rise ball is what she went down with last time up.
To Daly. Up the middle, gets the base hit. She's the tying run.
Great approach by Daly. I was expecting to see Cassidy Curd come back with that rise ball up in the zone, but it sat flat. Pam, we've talked about it all weekend. Cassidy Curd does leave the ball big, and when you do, you have to be ready. There, Daly attacked and was successful.
Danielle Blackston comes in to run for Daly. Get some speed on the base paths, see if she can come in and tie the game. This game was scoreless until the 9th inning. We've had 7 combined runs here in the 9th. Madison Walker, a couple of huge hits in the regional last week.
Well, and what did she do last week, Pam?
One pitch with Blackston, the pinch runner, over at first. Sent into center field. Deanna Jennings grabs it, and the Devils have done it. Duke goes to the World Series for the first time in its
After further review, the call is upheld. It was a foul ball in the box.
Nice quick job to get that done. 1-1 pitch. Giselle Tapia on deck for Duke. And then the top of the order, but again, Duke has not had a base runner since the 3rd inning. That bunt is caught by Crenshaw, and this time Baker's out.
You might as well wrap that one up and tie a bow on it because it was completely handed back there to Crenshaw behind the dish. Your job when you're trying to drag one is hit the top of the ball, and as Baker went for it, she hit the bottom and a little bloop right into the glove of Crenshaw.
2 out for Tapia. After the first pitch. Just off the plate.
And as a pitcher, if you want that call, go right back to it. You've got to make sure that you show that you have that kind of control. If she wants that call, she can grab it. It's the 8th inning. Go right back to it.
Tapia sends one into the gap. Honold chases it down.